Welcome to this week's episode of Those Two Guys Talk Disney. I'm Justin Vaughn, joined again by Jay Gibson.
Holla, holla.
We apologize for being off the air for the last couple of weeks. It was actually more of a scheduling conflict. It got really hard because, Jay's increased his hours. My hours are weird, So, a little bit difficult to get together when we can to record. But now we're back to record about the Haunted Mansion. We're still going to give you guys the 2 episodes we had planned, even though it's after Halloween. We're still going to give them to you because we already told you we were.
You have the video going?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just weird because the thing ain't lit up again.
I don't know, dude. I don't know why the thing doesn't light up when it does.
That's weird.
Probably because there's enough light in here because it's hurting a little bit.
Thing's got a mind of its own, apparently.
Which apparently has a skeleton in it.
Oh, you knocked it down. It's falling out now.
It is. It's falling out now.
Somebody was in the studio. Put stuff in the window.
Alright, let me see. We're actually going to talk about both Haunted Mansions, not just the one. Because...
So, in the Eddie Murphy one, the original, his character is a workaholic. He calls him to miss his wedding anniversary. He tries to make amends by suggesting vacation, but then his wife gets contacted by a resident of Gracie Manor, which is located in a bayou nearby. And Jim, eager to make a deal after learning the mansion's address, takes his family there to meet the owner. And then all hell just breaks loose from there.
Alright, the synopsis. A family comes face to face with 999 grim, grinning ghosts in creepy old Gracie Manor.
They got 99 problems.
999 problems.
999 problems. And ain't one.
It was released on November 26th, 2003. Mansion based on Disney ride.
See, I wonder if they've redone that now since they have the new one out.
See, I don't know. That's kind of just... I don't know.
I don't know how that...
Mansion scenes were filmed at Sable Ranch in Santa Clarita, California. The rest shot in New Orleans, Louisiana,
Nice.
which kind of makes sense. There's
Cool,
5 hidden Mickeys that can be seen throughout the movie.
Really?
The padlock.
Oh, yep.
The axe that the suit of armor almost hits Jim with. The poison bottle, the library couch, and the windows on the doors. 5 hidden Mickeys.
I'm going to have to rewatch that again and look for those because I guess I just never paid attention.
There was a $90 million budget for this movie, and they used every dime of that.
Damn.
I guarantee it.
Damn.
But it made $182.3 million at the box office.
Not too bad.
It stars Eddie Murphy as Jim Evers, Marsha Thompson as Sarah Evers, Mark John Jeffries, Michael Evers, Ari Davis, Megan Evers, Nathaniel Parker, Edward Gracie, Terrence Stamp as Ramsley, Jennifer Tilly as Madame Leota, Wallace Shawn as Ezra, Dina Spivey as Emma. Them were kind of the most notable ones. And yeah, the beginning of the movie, I don't remember how it exactly starts. However, you do see the Gracie Manor and one of the flyers blow up for Evers and Evers Realty or real estate, whatever it was. I almost said it. See, almost said it. And then it flashes to Jim Evers selling a house, and his wife calls him, and he uses her call to sell that house. Then you find out he's actually missed a lot of events
Yeah.
in the last month. But they sold 7 houses in the last month, which is pretty impressive.
A workaholic, man. Workaholic.
Got a fly flying right around my face.
I know, I just shoot it away from me.
The favorite part of this movie for me is seeing him bust.
Oh, yeah.
Or like at the end of the movie, in like the credits, where you see them driving to the lake, and Sarah's actually driving, and she's like 20 minutes tops, talking about how much longer it'll be. And then you see Madame Leota buckled in the back seat with the kids, and then the buster on the back of it.
The back of it. Like they just took that stuff with them. Like what the heck?
Well, because he gives her the house, and this butler is freaky as hell. Like he is the definition of a creepy butler.
Well, he is the reason why that guy wasn't married to his love in the first place.
Because he poisoned her. Because she was below his status.
Apparently, this woman looked very similar to her.
Identical.
Yeah. It's a little creepy.
A little bit. But then you find out they're all ghosts. Because you actually find out Gracie killed himself. Because he couldn't be with his love.
Yep.
But he couldn't cross over. Because Ramsley was holding him there. Because of that love he had.
Yeah. And the same with the maid and the other guy.
Yeah.
They were stuck there because of some curse or whatever that Ramsey had on the place. Wouldn't let nobody pass over. Move on.
And he tries to, like, Ramsey actually contacts Sarah, and he actually tries to get her to come by herself. And she tells him, no, she can't. She's got, they're taking a trip to to the lake. And it's because of Jim. They went and checked it out. Now, my question is, did they sell this house?
I don't know.
Now, this actually leads me to the next movie. Actually,
I mean, I would so be done with it after what I just went through. But
I wouldn't live there. But all the ghosts are gone now. But this kind of leads me to my next point. You know what would have been cool in the reboot of this? If they would have had the person selling the house as Evers and Evers Realty. Like, if he would have just made a cameo saying, we want you to be happy for Evers and Evers, because that's what he says in this movie, it would have been really cool. But they didn't.
Yeah.
Anyways. They kind of have to go into... They end up being divided in the mansion. And they end up having to figure out how to get, like, how to solve the issue that's going on.
Well, they end up finding. Oh, he goes down to the library because that's where his wife was supposed to have been, and he ends up finding a hidden passage.
Well, because Ramsley came and got him, said that Master Gracie would like to talk to him in his study, or was it the library?
Yeah, the library. I think it's the study. It's the last library.
And he messed around and he ended up pulling that. Well, then she goes looking for Jim, and Ramsey said, "Oh, he's in the library. That's where Gracie is." So she's talking to Gracie the whole time. Jim's walking through a passageway,
and he ends up finding Madame Yoda,
which is a head stuck in a ball. She's a psychic stuck in her own crystal ball.
Yeah.
And
meanwhile, the kids are
actually being led by the ghost to find the trunk
in the attic
that contains everything about Gracie's, love
Yeah.
and the truth.
I think that's where the kids find a picture. I think I have a picture up there of her that looks like their mom.
And Jim ends up getting away from there, ends up finding the kids, and is basically attacked by Ramsley.
So then him and the kids have to go find the mausoleum to go find a key.
But then Ramsley locks the house down to where they can't get out. So it's actually Ezra that goes, well, there's always my way. And he basically breaks through the wall in a ghost carriage.
Speaking of that, you just said that. Ezra explains, "There's always my way," a pivotal line of dialogue from the attraction.
Nice.
Yeah, apparently that's a part of the dialogue from the actual attraction.
Well, they said this movie was based on the attraction, so.
Which is kind of cool.
But they end up finding the mausoleum, finds the key.
Well, him and the daughter, I think it's him and the daughter that go down into the mausoleum because the boy's too afraid. The boy's afraid of spiders and
the
shit.
door shuts on him.
He gets covered in spiders, so he can't unlock it because he's scared of spiders.
But he actually does get it.
Yeah, he does face his fears and ends up getting it open for him.
There's also when they run into the bus, the four singing bus, that just sing random folk songs.
If I remember right, the daughter ends up going for a swim because she ends up dropping a key.
Yeah.
And it falls down underneath the bridge into the water.
Then they go back to Madame Leota to try to figure out what's the deal with the key.
You must find the key to unlock the truth or something. I don't know. That's exactly how she says it. Something like that. But.
So then they just decide to take her with them. He gets thrown out of the house by Ramsley. And Madame Leota is basically pepping him up because she ends up getting thrown out of the house with Jim Evers.
Which I'm pretty sure the kids and the dad are the ones that discovered that it was Ramsey because of a letter that his love had written or something. It was in that chest that they opened or whatever. So when he gets thrown out of the house, it's because they're trying to get to Ezra to tell him what is actually going on. And of course, Ramsey's trying to stop them from telling him the truth.
Not telling Ezra to
or whatever.
Gracie.
Yeah, Gracie. Gracie.
But Madame Leota's hyping him up. He goes, "It's impossible. I can't get in." She goes,
cracks me up.
"Fail 1,000 times. Try again." Something like that. She gives him some little.
She cracked me up though. She was funny.
Yeah, she made a really good Madame Leota. And so he finally decides to try again and wrecks his car. And gets in.
That thing flying needs to go away.
And finally ends up telling Gracie about, Ramsley killing, his love and all that. So then Ramsley ends up being sentenced down, sent down to basically hell because the fireplace opens up. Ramsley opens the fireplace up and he's trying to suck them all in, and he ends up being the one to get sucked in. And he actually grabs Jim Evers and pulls him in. Thankfully, he gets caught before he goes in. And then the light opens up and takes him. But in that time, that's when Edward Gracie actually gives the house to Sarah.
After that's all said and done, that's when you find out the little spirit light that led the kids to the trunk turns out to be his love.
Yeah.
Go away.
This movie got 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, so not a very popular movie.
but the costumes and special effects designer wanted the ghost characters to become more dead the further they were from the mansion. So while Ezra and Emma looked human in the house, their living it caused them to become blue and transparent to show they are ghosts. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat the way they did that. The zombies in the mausoleum were described as the deadest as they were the furthest away. Well, it makes sense, I guess.
I mean, they are zombies.
The Rick Baker, the chief costume designer, did the prosthetic makeup for the zombies in the mausoleum, using skull heads for the zombie design. He also designed one of the zombies as an elderly man holding a cane in order for the mausoleum scene not to be too frightening to viewers. You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah. Overall thoughts on that movie, though. It's not a bad movie.
I think it's a really fun family movie. I mean,
And
it has some pretty good laughs.
Eddie Murphy brings some levity to it.
You know, for it being a scary movie, it's got some pretty good comedy laughs in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Like I said, Eddie Murphy definitely brings, some levity to it. And so do the kids, by all means, man. The two kids, perfect kids. The girl, very, very sassy. The kid, or the boy, you can see he's terrified of everything. And he's kind of making his way through this anyways. So, he doesn't want to be there, but since he has to be there, he's just trying to make the best of it.
Yep.
But he ends up facing his fears. He's, as you can see the progression though, like as it goes further and further, is he gets less and less scared.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he no longer worries about all the other, being afraid of everything. So that's kind of cool. That you actually get to see that progression.
Right. I like that he finally faces his fears. That's awesome.
All right. You ready for the remake now? The remake actually has a different synopsis.
Yeah.
All right. It was released July 28th, 2023.
That's the cool thing. The original would come out in 2003. The remake was 2023.
Yeah.
So how cool is that?
The budget was $150 million. Box office $117.5 million. So this actually lost money. But it has a 37% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So it was liked more than the original. The synopsis of it is: a woman and her son enlist so-called spiritual experts to rid their home of supernatural squatters. Now, don't blame me if I pronounce names wrong, because some of these names are kind of weird. Lakeith Stanfield is Ben Mathis. He's an astrophysicist. Basically means he invented a camera to take pictures of ghosts. Tiffany Haddish is Harriet, a psychic, or a medium as she calls herself. Owen Wilson, Father Kent. Danny DeVito as Bruce Davis. Rosario Dawson is Gabby. Chase W. Dillon is Travis, which is her son. Jamie Lee Curtis is Madame Leota. And Jared Leto is Alistair Crump. It was filmed in New Orleans and Atlanta, Georgia.
See, in this one, the woman is a widowed doctor. Her and her son move into the abandoned Gracie Manor, once again, planning to turn it into a bed and breakfast, only to discover that it is infested by ghosts. So they did keep it Gracie's Manor. The manor was still the same name. I mean, it looked different, but it was still the same manor, so to speak.
Yes. And it was, and some of the stuff are still, like, some of it was still the same. Like, you still got Madame Leota. So they didn't change everything.
Played by none other than Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, I know. Which, I preferred the original Madame Leota.
Yes.
because her voice just sounded more of a, that kind of that
Well,
vibe.
she made more sense to be in that kind of vibe. Jamie Lee Curtis, she is famous for Halloween, but she wasn't the creepy person.
Yeah.
Like, that person, the original Madame Yoda, better for that part.
Yeah.
She has that more creepy vibe to her.
Don't get me wrong. Jamie Lee Curtis
She did a good job.
did a great job as Madame Leota.
Yeah.
I just prefer the original.
Yeah.
However, they do put a little spin on how she got in her crystal ball,
Yeah.
which was not talked about in the first one.
Nope.
They also did a little more with the mansion itself and the ghosts that are in the mansion. Come to find out, most of the ghosts in the mansion are from people that had lived there.
Yeah.
There's two brothers that ended up shooting themselves in each other in a duel. There's a lady that ended up killing her husband and a bunch of other people there.
Yeah. There's a lot of them to try to go through.
Basically, everybody that's ever lived there has murdered somebody else that lived there. And so all these ghosts end up inhabiting this house. But you find out throughout the movie that actually all the ghosts the people that live there are actually affected by Alistair Crump, my bad. And he was just an evil ghost. Well, when Gracie was alive, he brought in Madame Leota to do seances, actually built a spiritual room, which was not on the blueprints, hidden behind a painting. And he brought her in to do seances because the love of his life died. They actually say of an illness, not she was poisoned or nothing like that. So it wasn't, but he ended up bringing in a bunch of the ghosts into this house because they ended up calling them forward. Like, they have one that's a captain of a boat.
Yep.
And just the little different stuff like that. But you also see, like, Ben, you see what his life was, but how it is now. So you actually see how he's a drunk. He runs ghost tours. He's grieving, and you don't really understand why he's an a-hole all the time.
Well, Ben was an astrophysicist developing a camera to detect dark matter when he met his future wife Alyssa, who was a tour guide for the city's famously haunted places. And then after her death, she died in a car crash. He gives up his career and continues to run her tour.
Yeah, which is just a walking tour.
Yeah. And of course, when you meet him, he's in the bar drunk because, depression apparently, after passing. And tours becoming few and far between apparently, or whatever.
Well, would you want to take his tour, though?
You know me, though. You know me and my family on that kind of stuff. So.
But if you're going to New Orleans and that's what you're expecting is an actual tour like that, are you going to take his tour? I mean, he comes off as an a-hole.
Probably not.
Well, that was weird. I just seen a random flash in front of my camera. Right here in front of my mic. But he's grieving. Well, all of a sudden, Father Kent shows up at his house, asking if he wants to be a hero. Said that, this would just be a quick payday. You just gotta go out there, snap some pictures. And he finally agrees to go out there. Come to find out, once you step foot in the house, you can't leave. The ghosts pull you back.
Well, they follow you.
Yeah. Because he takes off.
They did not tell him this when he came there and then left.
But he comes in with a dead battery on his camera and then tries to pretend like he's taking pictures.
But he's at home that night, and then stuff starts happening, and all of a sudden,
Because the captain follows him home.
And he goes back to like, you didn't tell me they follow you home.
Then come to find out, Father Kent's there.
Yeah, he's stuck there too because he done went there and they following him.
Which you actually find out later, he's not actually a father.
No,
he's actually a con man.
Which is perfect role for Owen Wilson. I mean,
Yeah.
Wedding Crasher, Shanghai Nights, Shanghai Noon. He was a con artist. He just plays that role so well.
But then they realized they got to assemble the dream team of, this whole thing, for ghost hunting. And because while Ben's at home, he actually changes the battery in his camera. And he actually takes a picture, and he gets a ghost on his camera. So it actually shows that his lens does work.
Yeah.
So then they actually bring in Harriet, and Ben's really, skeptic of her, and it's like, she's not real. She doesn't really have it. Because she starts asking, have you ran into somebody that, like, name this, or like name this, or, and he's just like, man, there's nobody like that. There's nobody like that. And come to find out, she legit is an actual medium. And they bring her in. They actually go talk to Bruce, try to get some history on the house. And he just wants to see the house, but he come to find out he's like a week away from heart surgery.
Yeah, when Harriet performs the astral projection, Ben is actually sent out his body instead of her, and he encounters Gracie's ghost and a malevolent spirit whose head disappears and reappears in a hat box they carry. And then it was after that they go to a pre-sketch artist, and draws a ghost, and then allows the group to identify that ghost as Alistair Crump, who was actually a wealthy heir who was shunned by his father in high society. So after his father's mysterious death, a vengeful Crump used lavish parties to lure the fellow socialites to their deaths while developing an obsession with the occult until he was finally assassinated by his much abused staff.
Where his head was never found.
And then Crump seals the mansion, but Ben, Kent, and Travis escape to Crump Manor, where the mariner leads them to Crump's hat to use an banishment ritual.
And he ends up throwing the hat in the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, because once they find out it's Crump, then I don't know where they come up with this ritual thing.
It's in Madame Leota's book.
Oh, okay. So then they actually go to Crump's house, because that's where it's supposed to be at, apparently, somewhere. Or go to get something of Crump's, I guess, to use. And then they're led down underneath the house.
Yeah.
To where the hat was at. And then they find there's also a bunch of, like, tombstones or whatever down there, a bunch of graves underneath the house.
Yeah, from when he was killing people.
Yeah.
Just to keep himself rich.
And I'm pretty sure it's the boy down there by himself. He gets the hat for him, I do believe.
Yeah, he did not like that idea. Well, come to find out, because like Harriet actually comes in. She finds out, like when she walks in, she said, "There's a grieving soul here." And of course, everybody's, "Oh no!"
And of course,
well then Ben finally admits,
of course, as of the audience,
from his wife.
As of the audience, we automatically assume it's Ben.
Come to find out, it's not. It's Travis.
Yeah. Because of his dad. Which, I mean, you kind of find out as it goes, because he's supposed to be talking to his dad and this and that. So then you figure out that his dad has passed away. But still, the way they play it, it makes you feel like, oh, it's Ben.
Yeah. But you don't really, like, it's never said that his dad passed away. So when, like, Ben tells him, yeah, you can talk to your dad, like, when he leaves him in the car, he just assumes he's calling him.
Well, it's because nobody else has told that he's passed away, but as the audience, I'm pretty sure we know, I'm pretty sure it mentioned that she was widowed when they were moving into that place.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was mentioned, I think.
But yeah, they just the way they end up having to do it, and come to find out, Harriet is actually a very strong medium, and she's actually able to cast a spell to actually pull Madame Leota out of her crystal ball. And Ben's actually is able to save Travis from Crump, who's pretending to be his dad.
Yeah.
He actually ends up being able to save him by willingly saying he will give up his life for him.
Because Crump needed one more soul or whatever.
Yeah. But so he willingly trades himself for Travis. And then then he realizes hold on. They actually used Bruce and Father Kent as a distraction. Or, well, use Father Kent as a distraction. He ends up getting the ghost on his side.
Yeah.
And becoming friends with him.
Yeah.
Makes the one turn around because it freaks him out.
only as a true con artist can, I guess.
But makes someone turn around so he can finish up his speech. Ends up getting all of them on his side. So they're willing to battle Crump. On top of everything that, Harriet and Madame Leota do. And then you got Gabby and Travis just trying to convince Ben he's not alone. And all that's left of the hat is like one little piece of the hat. Because the rest of it burned. But Bruce is able to save it. But yeah, they end up coming in and they end up actually getting saving Ben.
Yeah, because Crump
banishing Crump.
Crump ends up tempting Ben to become his final soul and be reunited with his love, Alyssa. But then Ben makes his peace with losing her, and then they banish Crump back to another world.
Now, the cool part is Madame Leota has to go back into her crystal ball because she can't be out it for too long. Okay. I mean, I get it. You've been in there for years. Decades at least. I can't remember how long they said.
I don't remember either.
I want to say, Bruce said she'd been in there for 160 years.
Something like that.
But, so she has to go back in that, which, cool, whatever. Well, all the souls that wanted to leave could leave, finally. But most of them stayed.
Yeah.
So, there were still parties at the mansion.
And, Ben continues to move on with his life, but then he discovers a cat staying by his door with the name Tater Tot.
Which is what she was
a
going
nod
out
to his
get.
wife's love for the food. And then apparently the group reunites at the mansion for a Halloween party. Ben has returned to teaching. Harriet has regained confidence in her psychic abilities. Kent actually got ordained.
Yeah.
As a priest. Travis was elected class vice president. Gabby has been hired at the local hospital. Bruce maintains his newfound friendship. And many of the ghosts have chosen to stay at the mansion, now in harmony with the living. That's kind of cool.
But it also kind of shows that, Ben and Gabby got something kind of going on a little bit.
Well, because he gets really close with her kid.
I know, and that's kind of cool, that they got a little something going on there.
I think that's part of what helped him get over her, be able to move on.
Like I said, I actually kind of liked it. I mean, this one was different, and it actually had some quite a bit scarier points in it.
Yeah. To me,
really,
I feel like this one was more intense, more scarier than the Eddie Murphy one. They made it more darker.
Yes.
Than that one.
I 100% agree.
Because Eddie Murphy one, it was the butler, didn't want to lose his cushy life or whatever. He figured he'd lose his cushy life if he got married, so he was trying to keep him apart from his love. And this and that and the other. This one, it was more a psychopathic killer just killing off people and wanted so many souls to be able to come back to life or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, and it was just more darker, more sinister than the original. Where this guy's trying to lure this kid into being his final soul, and it was just, to me, all around, just more of a more scarier, darker, serious, sinister.
Yeah, it really is, but I like it though. Like, it's actually a really good movie. Like, I don't understand how it only got 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it actually is a good movie. Like, I can understand why the original one
confused.
got 13% because it's kind of a weird combination, and they try to make it not scary, but
in July 2022, Jamie Lee Curtis and Jared Leto were revealed to have been cast. During the 2022 D23 Expo presentation, it was revealed that Winona Ryder, Dan Levy, and Hasan Minhaj were cast. Where the hell was Winona Ryder and Jared Leto in this movie?
Jared Leto is Crump.
Is that Jared Leto?
Yep. Yeah, he's Alistair Crump.
I did not know that. I did not realize that's who that was, I guess.
Yep.
Huh. See, I didn't realize that's who that was. That was Crump.
Yep.
Huh. And Winona Ryder was Pat, a New Orleans tour guide. Uncredited, okay. I didn't realize they both were in that movie.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
But yeah, overall, dude, I actually like this better than the first one. In the original, like I said, it just gets confusing because they try to make it not scary but scary at the same time, and that just doesn't really work. Still a good movie, still worth watching, but not really. It's not really about much. This one, however, it actually adds more to it.
That's why I didn't realize it was him, because of the makeup for the character. I did not realize that's who that was, because he plays Joker and stuff like. So I know who he is, but I didn't realize it was him.
But yeah, this one's darker, creepier. It actually talks a lot more about killing.
Yeah, like I said, it was way more sinister.
Like I said, the brothers shooting each other in a duel. The woman killing her husband, and it just a lot. Then talking about Crump, how he killed people just to keep his lavish lifestyle. So it kind of showed that, he didn't really care about anybody else. He just cared about himself. So then he's trying to get the 1,000 souls so he can actually come back from the dead, so he can do it again.
Yeah.
To me, that's crazy.
That dude was psycho. He had a lot of issues.
So it was just, but I like it.
Yeah, it was really good. I do think I enjoyed it way more than the original.
And some of the stuff that's just like that could be really scary, like when Ben and Travis start trying to get out of the house, and Crump starts manipulating the house to where everybody else can't get to him.
Yeah. And
the room changes, and so there's no door, there's one window, and they gotta ride the gargoyles up, but these big alligators start climbing the wall underneath them, and dynamite's about to explode, and big barrels, and that doesn't go off only because they kicked an alligator down into the water and it splashes it.
Yeah.
But they get out.
Little cartoony there, but
yes,
it was great. It was good.
But it is still Disney, so you gotta have a little bit of cartoony.
I did, like I said, I did enjoy it more than the original, but I think that's, like you said, it's because they weren't trying to make it both funny and scary at the same time. It was scary, but it had some funny points.
Yeah. Well, and they let people that are genuinely funny, like Owen Wilson. And Danny DeVito. They just let them be funny.
Yeah.
In a serious role. They just kind of let them be funny a little bit.
Which, I mean, they did do that with Eddie Murphy too. You know?
Yeah, but he wasn't.
But they didn't really.
It's hard seeing him being in a horror movie role.
Yeah.
Because he's not. He's a comedian.
Yeah. Most of his
Which
roles are
Danny DeVito
funny.
can be either. I mean, he can do a lot of different stuff.
He did play Penguin in Batman.
Yeah. And same with Tiffany Haddish. She is genuinely funny in her movies. So in this movie, she is actually pretty funny. So the three of them actually add the add some levity to it, so it's not so heavy. But the movie still is very dark, very heavy.
Yeah.
And it deals with, how you deal with grief. How, because, Harriet tells Ben, look, because your wife's not here, that is a good thing. That means she moved on. She was happy. She moved on. She didn't want to linger. But so she's trying to tell, she's explaining this to him. And I think all of them together helped him through his grief. Him being with the group helped Travis through his grief. And they both ended up coming out better for it.
Yep.
All right, guys. This is kind of getting close to the end of this episode. We did talk about both Haunted Mansion movies, just like we promised you. We'll be more back on it, like now that we're going to do two at a time. Makes it a little bit easier for us to get together and record that way.
Yeah.
Instead of every single week got to get together and record. That gets a little complicated with our work schedules. But
well, not to mention we're gonna be going into the holiday hustle and bustle here soon, real soon.
True.
Too, so that's gonna mess with things a little bit.
So we will actually be back next week with Hocus Pocus. Not both of them, just the one. Which is one of my favorite Halloween movies. Easily, I gotta watch it at least twice through Halloween.
It's an OG.
But yeah, we'll be back with you guys next week.
Catch you on the flip side.